He's been intercepted by Joel Linton, and Newcastle looking to try and form a counter-attack here on this left-hand side. Barnes down towards the byline, skinning past Eric Garcia towards that penalty area. Lovely little floated delivery. João Cancelo can only put it into touch for our first quarter of the game, and Newcastle, away from home, have started this game very, very positively. Just trying to take the pressure towards the home side. It was a good bit of play by Lamine Yamal to get his side forward, but Fermin Lopez's touch let him down. Joel Linton was able to get back and start a counter-attack on this left-hand side. And something that's very positive here is they're only looking one way, and that's forward. Taking this corner short in towards Lewis Hall. He's been intercepted. Trippier does pick up the loose ball. Trippier once more. Hall wants it back. Trippier towards the far post, trying to retake his Malik Toy. Burn comes steaming in. Burn tries to get the shot away. Good effort, Dan Burn, but saved by Juan Garcia. 2.5 minutes played, still 0-0. And our best chance of the game falling towards the big English centre-half. All 6'7" of him. Switching on towards that weaker right foot of him, but just swivelling and getting the shot away. And getting it on target as well. Barcelona looking to try and move forward with Lewandowski, but there is Joel Linton again. Here comes Alanga trying to roll through Gordon in behind. And Martin is happy to put that one right into the stand. If I'm Eddie Howe, and Jason Tindall down there on the touchline, I'm absolutely buzzing with the start. If I'm Hansi Flick, and I can really tell it by his facial expression, but he looks a little bit nervy, he does. Trying to keep his composure as the former Bayern Munich coach, but I'll tell you what, his side have not started well at all in towards this game. Need to try and keep a spell of possession and bide their time. Over towards Anthony Alanga. There is Martin again, pumping this ball on. Malik Toy's got a little bit of danger to try and bring this one down. Robert Lewandowski helps him out. Back towards Aaron Ramsdale on the edge of his own 6-yard box. Ramsdale down the line towards Trippier. Helps it on his way, does the former Spurs man. Intercepted though by Pedri. And now Martin, I think, is going to do that with keeping the possession immediately. He did have the option to go and play forward there, did the Spaniard, but he saw better of it. Good play there by Gerard Martin, the 24-year-old. Happy to turn and keep possession for his side. Lively start though. Newcastle set up in, it looks like a 5-4-1 almost. Sandro Tonali's come so deep. He's almost playing like a left centre half at times. They're driving forward here now though. Barcelona with João Cancelo down the line towards Rafinha. Rafinha trying to put this forward towards the penalty area. There goes Bird. Gets the intervention. Rafinha wanting a little bit more from them home supporters. Winning the corner and waving his arms towards that home stand. They started off really lively, did the Barcelona fans. Don't get me wrong, they're still making a lot of noise, but there was a few murmurs around, wasn't there? With Dan Bird, who just got in that block, getting the shot away as well. It's going to be the in-swing and delivery then over towards this far side where Aaron Ramsdale's goal is. Ramsdale, good goalkeeping there by Aaron Ramsdale, just positioning himself well and claiming it for his side. Robert Lewandowski appears to get in the way of Aaron Ramsdale's drop kick. Our referee is not interested. I'm quite surprised about that as well, actually, because Ramsdale went to play it short on this left-hand side. Lewandowski just made his presence be known and basically just blocked the angle that Ramsdale was trying to punt it long from. Oh, great little slip there by Lamine Yamal, rolling in behind Rafinha. Good chance here for Barcelona. Rafinha with a bit of space. Rafinha with time, and Rafinha with the goal. And despite the positive start of Newcastle, that is the break that Barcelona wanted. And Rafinha rolls it in towards the bottom left corner. It's Barcelona 1, Newcastle 0. And for Aaron Ramsdale, he had no chance at all. Flash just of a counter-attack. It was a lovely little bit of turn and space there by Lamine Yamal, and he was only looking forward. He rolled it on towards this right-hand side where Fermin Lopez took over, played it back towards Rafinha, and what a finish it is. His second goal in 7 matches in the UEFA Champions League. The former Leeds United man, lovely little finish in towards that bottom left corner. It was the turn initially from Lamine Yamal. Malik Toy can't keep his feet. He just turns on towards his weaker right foot on the outside of his left foot instead, and Malik Toy is nowhere near him. And in the perfectly way to pass, damn, Lewis Hall goes down. Fermin Lopez does take over. The Hall slips as well. Whoever's got the Newcastle footwear tonight, well, they might be having to have a word with themselves. We've got a little kind of incident here that Spurs saw against Atletico Madrid in their first leg. And it's a lovely bit of play by Fermin Lopez. Just sent it towards Rafinha, who took his time. He just did one little touch, one little stutter, rolls it in towards the bottom left corner. Barcelona with the best possible start in this contest. It's Barcelona 1, Newcastle 0. And that's how quickly it can change, can't it? We see it so often in the Champions League. Here's Robert Lewandowski trying to hold up the field of play. Dan Burn brings him down though, and the Polish international wins a free kick inside of his own half. 7 minutes played. Rafinha with the only goal so far of this second leg contest. 1-0 on the night, 2-1 on aggregate. Just when you think as well, because I was just saying, if you're Eddie Howe, if you're Jason Tindall, you know, you'd be quite happy, wouldn't you, with the start that your side has made. And then just like that, in 10 seconds, completely changes. You find yourself a goal behind, and now you've got to find two. Ramsdale pumping this ball on towards Anthony Elanga. Elanga can't quite get there though. Does trickle out for a Barcelona throw out on towards this left-hand side. Such an entertaining football that Barcelona do play though. The quickness on the counter-attack, and they've sent one long here towards Fermin Lopez as well. Lopez is in behind. Oh, it's good goalkeeping there by Aaron Ramsdale. It was a long ball played forward towards Fermin Lopez right down the throat of the pitch. Sandro Tonali couldn't keep up with him. Ramsdale was alert. He came steaming out and was able to smash that ball away out for a throw on towards this left-hand side. It's really, really good play by Aaron Ramsdale. He's made the ball, and he's taken a lot. Well, he hasn't taken too much of the man. Actually, I'm doing him a disservice there. He's gone through. He's left his stud high. I think VAR just had a little check over it, but I think they can see Ramsdale. It's just the way he's kicked the ball that his leg is inevitably going to swing, because he wanted to put a real bit of distance on the clearance. Over here on this right-hand side with Pau Kabasi, as Lamine Yamal tries to let it run. Lewis Hall is struggling to deal with the Spaniards so far. He is bang up for it tonight. Malik Toy in towards Tonali. Good ball there by the Italian. Kieran Trippier's got a nice bit of space to go and execute in. The Newcastle captain tonight in towards Elanga. The Swedish international being forced back by João Cancelo, and he can only put it into touch. It's poor play there by Anthony Elanga, because they had a nice bit of space held towards this right-hand side. Trippier rolled it into him, and his first touch was immediately backwards, and João Cancelo was all over it, forcing him straight in towards a position that he didn't want to go into, and giving up possession. Just to note as well, I thought they were playing almost like a 5-4-1 at one point with Sandro Tonali's positioning. I've just noticed now the Italian has stepped a lot further up, because there was a huge gap that Barcelona were exploiting. Here is the Italian now in that gap. Oh, they're getting their passes wrong here. They started 3 minutes. They were fantastic, Newcastle. The last 6, they've been not at the races at the minute. They keep on playing their passes sloppy. It's one of them. Because you find yourself a goal behind, you feel like everything needs to rush a little bit. You've still got 81 minutes of football to be played. There's a lot of time. You only need 1 goal to level up the tie. Elanga putting on more pressure on João Cancelo, and there's a perfect example of it. He's all over the back of the Portuguese. Just needs to take his time, steady himself a bit, almost take a note out of his own book, because he's looked towards Kieran Trippier just a moment ago and just made the gesture of, well, keep calm, calm down. And he just needs to take a little note out of his own book there, Anthony Elanga, because he's gone steaming in on João Cancelo like there's 10 minutes to play. You've got 80 minutes to play, Anthony. A lot of time of football. Here is Yamal then trying to roll through. I mean, Torres in behind. Good interception though by Lewis Hall. Bit of pressure there on the Englishman. He's got no options in front of him, having to play in towards just an area of space. Intercepted though by Pau Kabasi. And there's a mistake in the middle, and Harvey Barnes can come steaming forward. Barnes feels he has been fouled on this left-hand side, and he has been fouled as well. It's good play there by Harvey Barnes. I was saying there's a lot of responsibility here on Mark Bernal, who is pleading his innocence here, but it was a poor touch there by the 18-year-old. He's been given a lot of weight on his shoulders, and just from that poor touch, he felt he had to do something. Harvey Barnes went steaming in, and he makes the ball, to be honest with you, and then he clips the man. So he wins possession back just momentarily, realizing that he is going to lose it again, then lifts his leg up, clips Harvey Barnes on the run. To be honest, that's some really good officiating there by referee Francois Letexia. Just reading the situation almost there, the referee, that he saw that Bernal wasn't going to be able to hold on to possession, had to take down his man. He just paused for a moment, waiting to blow up, does blow up, and Newcastle with a free kick in a very similar position to one they had earlier. Sandro Tonali's over it, 35-40 yards from goal is going to be the in-swinging delivery of the Italian. Tries to whip it in towards that far post, better delivery this time, easily dealt with. Lewis Hall picks up the loose ball down the centre of the pitch. He's forced backwards though towards Aaron Ramsdale, who's being sprinted at by Rafinha. Ramsdale pumping this ball long, headed in the middle of the park there by Bernal. Dan Burn goes in on Robert Lewandowski, and Lewandowski feels he has been pushed in the back, but our referee deems otherwise. Elanga takes over on this right-hand side. Elanga is not at the races at the moment. He's just dribbled that one out of play and immediately gives a thumbs up to Kieran Trippier, but the former Nottingham Forest man is not really, he's not, his head isn't in the game at the minute. Bernal has gone over to put a little bit of pressure on him, and he's got his head up, Anthony Alanga, but he hasn't even got the ball under control. Back here with Juan Garcia, pumping this one down the middle of the pitch. Malik Toy is there to go and meet it. Alanga trying to keep it in play. No chance there for the Swede. Out for a Barcelona throw on this left-hand side, just on the halfway line. 12 minutes played, Barcelona 1, Newcastle 0. Goal from Rafinha just moments ago is what separates the two sides. Pau Kabasi now on this right-hand side. A lot of room here for the centre-half to go and operate into. Rafinha's movement is causing such a problem for Dan Burn at the moment. He's being pulled all over the place, is the former Brighton man. Yamal now in behind towards Robert Lewandowski. He's got no chance really getting there, does the Polish international. Toy is there to go and intervene. He's been such an impressive player, hasn't he? Malik Toy really settled in towards this Newcastle side. You'd think he's been here for years, wouldn't you? But he's just come in and is doing an excellent job. Lewis Hall has just won a free kick on this left-hand side, deep inside of his own half. Ramsdale's coming over to go and take it. The movement from Rafinha at the moment is causing Dan Burn so many problems, because he's just come sprinting short to pick up the ball from Pau Kabasi, and Burns followed him all the way, and Rafinha knows he's got the pace on Dan Burn every single day of the week. So the second he's gone short, he's then spun himself in behind, and because Newcastle, they're not playing man for man, but they all have their shape, and if Toy comes over to come and block that run, it suddenly drags everything all over the place. So they just have to trust Dan Burn that he can get back into his position quick enough to try and deal with the pace of Rafinha. Big task to ask of the big 6'7" Dan Burn, and that's what they're asking of him at the moment. He's trying to put an interception here on Robert Lewandowski. He's pulling Lewandowski all over the place here at the moment, is Dan Burn. Joel Linton taking over in the middle of the park. He's got so many Barcelona shirts around him. Yamal's going steaming in. Burn back towards Aaron Ramsdale once again, the former Arsenal man, trying to play out towards his right-hand side. Good play there by Aaron Ramsdale in towards Kieran Trippier. Jackie Bramsey getting a scarce touch in this game. One of the few players who's playing with long sleeves tonight over in the middle of the park. Here is Lewis Hall. A lot of space for the Englishman to go and execute into. Barnes, 1-2 between him and Hall. Hall, if he can get his pass right here, it towards Anthony Alanga. Alanga now in front of goal. And what a finish that is as well by the Swede. He struggled to get in towards this game, but what a finish that is. In towards the bottom left corner. And Newcastle have found themselves an equaliser. 15 minutes played. It's Barcelona 1, Newcastle 1. And it's all come from Lewis Hall on that left-hand side. He saw a little bit of area of space towards the halfway line, and he went darting in towards it. Eric Garcia comes. He flicks it past him. Little 1-2 between him and Harvey Barnes. And then he gets his head up and realises the situation in front of him. Perfectly timed run. We'll check as, oh, Alanga's miles onside. Credit to Anthony Alanga as well, because he could have got ahead of himself. I was just saying, take it out of your own book and make sure you calm things down. And he did so there, because he had so much space to go into in front of him. But he didn't want to run in towards an offside position. Just held his run for a moment. Realised that João Cancelo and Martin were going to have no chance in getting back towards him. Ball played across from him from Lewis Hall in towards the 18-yard box. And João Garcia's got no chance of getting anywhere near Anthony Alanga on the stretch. Falls over as he scores it. Lovely little finish there by Anthony Alanga. For all the critics I've given him for the first 15 minutes, he's found his moment there. And we are all square inside 15 minutes, and we're back to where we started. Barcelona 1, Newcastle 1. Goals from Rafinha and Anthony Alanga is what keeps the two sides level. Tonali trying to get an interception in there on Fermin Lopez. And it does go out for a Newcastle throw over on towards that left-hand side. It's such fantastic play there by Lewis Hall, and you can see why so many people highly rate him, getting himself an assist tonight already. It was such a lovely play as well, and he's just playing with no fear at all. He sees it's probably about 20 yards tops of green space in front of him, and he's gone sprinting in towards it. Credit as well to Harvey Barnes playing the little 1-2 between the two Englishmen on this left-hand side. Rolls it in a perfectly weighted ball in towards Anthony Alanga as well. And a great finish as well by the Swede. Hall now in towards Sandro Tonali. Good interception though by Kabasi. Only up in the air though for a moment. Little flick on there by Bernal as Fermin Lopez tries to take over in the middle of the park. Goes down from the challenge from Joel Linton. Free kick on the halfway line for Barcelona. Fabulously entertaining game though in the early encounters of this one. Back in possession now with Gerard Martin on this left-hand side. He had no chance of getting towards Anthony Elanga, by the way. They all got dragged over towards his right-hand side with the Barcelona backline. And by the time they realised the situation in front of them, the ball was already in the back of the net. Yamal finding a way past Lewis Hall. Driving forward now is Lamine Yamal. Joel Linton has to be cynical, and we are going to see our first yellow card being dished out there. And I don't think Joel Linton can have any complaints at all. It was really good play there by Lamine Yamal, just finding a way to drop his shoulder, skin Lewis Hall on the halfway line. Goes driving forward. Joel Linton has no other choice because he knows the danger that Lamine Yamal does possess, and pulls him down on his shoulder. And free kick for Barcelona, yellow card for Joel Linton, our first yellow card of this contest. Yes, and it's in a really good position as well for Barcelona, about 30-35 yards from goal. It's an opportunity to swing one in, or if Rafinha really fancies it, he could potentially take it on. I think he's, to be honest, I think he might go for it. They're queuing up a little bit towards the far post. There's only a couple of Barcelona shirts towards that far. I think Fermin Lopez is one of them. I think Rafinha's going to go for it from this. No, Rafinha, lovely little ball towards the penalty area. Set back down as well, and turned home by Bernal from 6 yards. And it's Barcelona 2, Newcastle 1. Newcastle went sleeping. 18 minutes played, and the Spanish side find themselves back ahead. It was the easiest of goals, completely switched off in Newcastle. I think they thought the same as me, that Rafinha was going to take one up from distance. His body position was he was going to shoot, and he's just floated a lovely little delivery in towards that 18 yards box, and it was set down as well. And Marc Bernal with a lovely little finish in towards the bottom left corner. What a great moment there for the 18-year-old. There'll be there'll be a slight little, I was going to say there'll be a slight little VAR check for a potential offside. No chance at all. It's a great header as well, just to set in by Gerard Martin, arriving at the far post. Little glancing header down. And they're so clever as well by Gerard Martin, because he could have gone for goal, realised his angle was tight, and saw Bernal in a much better position, put it in an area for the 18-year-old, who took it first time on his instep in towards that bottom left corner. Dan Burn was furious with the rest of his teammates. They all switched off. And if you switch off against a side like Barcelona, you're going to be punished. And 20 minutes played. It's Barcelona 2, Newcastle 1. We're 3-2 on aggregate now. Fabulously entertaining game so far. Dan Burn on the edge of his own penalty area. Once again, here is Lewis Hall looking for another moment of magic. Hall trying to send Barnes long on this left-hand side. Slightly overhit there by the Englishman. Picked up by Juan Garcia. So if you're just joining us, you've missed 3 goals so far. 3 fabulously entertaining goals as well. Started off with Rafinha, who rolled one in towards that bottom left corner. Great finish by the Barcelona Brazilian on this right-hand side. And it was answered back, though. Anthony Elanga getting himself on the score sheet. Lewis Hall with the assist, and he basically made the goal. Then, as you just heard moments ago, Bernal getting himself on the score sheet as well, putting Barcelona back in front. As Juan Cancelo coming driving down the line on this left-hand side. Good interception, though, by Jacob Ramsey. Barcelona's press. The second Newcastle have the ball, they are all over them. Ramsey in towards Malik Toy. Back to Aaron Ramsdale. Lewis Hall has come out towards this far left-hand side, picking up the ball. Dan Bird's got himself in towards an area, and Tonali's come over toward and helped him out. And Tonali can only put it behind for a Barcelona corner, and them home fans behind the goal can feel that they've got all the momentum in the world. Ronald Araujo has just got himself stripped and ready to come on. I didn't really see any kind of injury, actually. He's going towards João Cancelo, and wow, I think Eric Garcia's day is over. I didn't see Garcia get injured, though. And Garcia, he's not injured at all. That's a really interesting substitute there by Hansi Flick. He sees the danger in front of him with Harvey Barnes and Lewis Hall. He knows that the threat from Newcastle is out on this left-hand side. And Eric Garcia, it may be a little bit harsh there for the former Man City man, because he's just come strolling off. He looks a little bit disappointed with himself. But a little handshake there with Hansi Flick as well. Ronald Araujo has come on. I presume he'll go straight in towards that right back slide. He's taken over the armband as well from Rafinha. But a tactical-minded sub there by Hansi Flick, who isn't afraid to make big decisions, and he's made a big one there. Ronald Araujo is on for Eric Garcia. He only managed 20 minutes there, Eric Garcia, and there was no injury as well. Resulting corner then is going to be the in-swing and delivery of Rafinha. 2 arms up in the air then for the Brazilian, already making his presence be known as Fermin Lopez inside of that 6-yard box, as is Bernal, looking to try and get his second goal of the night. Rafinha's ball in towards that penalty area. Araujo came arriving, and he nearly got there as well. Malik Toy did really, really well, to be honest. Just matched the Uruguayan stride for stride, and able to get a little deflection in the way and put it behind for another corner. Malik Toy having to try and match Ronald Araujo, who we know is a real bit of a threat from set pieces. Rafinha then, again over this corner, whipped in towards that near post, again going to try and find Araujo, and all they can do is clear it out for another corner. Can Newcastle, halfway through this first half, you wouldn't think we've only played 22 minutes, you think we've played at least 62, but there's been so much stuff to talk about so far. Rafinha again with his third corner in a row, in towards that near post. Araujo gets there! In towards the near post though. Again, but Newcastle need to deal with that better. I mean, they've dealt with it a couple of times, but only put it behind for another corner. They know the threat that's coming. It's all Ronald Araujo. Malik Toy needs to get so much closer, like he did the first time, to Ronald Araujo. Because it's too simple, to be honest. It's way too simple for Araujo just to get in front of him and then get a little flick on, nearly finding the near post. I mean, Ramsdale knows exactly where that ball is going to go, but it'll be very hard for him to try and save with the pace that will be on that ball as well, that Rafinha generates from the initial cross in. Here is Lamine Yamal then on the halfway line, pressure behind him from Lewis Hall, the Spaniard finding a way past him once again. Lamine Yamal is growing in confidence more and more. He gets himself on the ball in this game. Araujo back towards Kabasi once again. Here is Martin, who's got himself an assist tonight, in towards João Cancelo, as the Portuguese is being forced back here just for a moment by Kieran Trippier. Jacob Ramsey goes in on Pedri on that left-hand side, and the Spaniard feels he has been fouled, and a free kick has been given against the former Aston Villa man. Ramsey's complaining. I don't think you can have too many complaints. So, in fact, actually, it's a Barcelona ball. We can have some complaints saying that Pedri potentially dived. I don't think the referee's going to give anything there. Lewandowski trying to hold up the field of play. Good defending there, though, by Malik Toy. Ramsey back towards Dan Burn. He's only got one option immediately. It's back towards Aaron Ramsdale, and the Englishman can only pump it long. And this is what Barcelona want, because it's going to come straight back towards him. Araujo has gone steaming in, winning the header, and Kabasi has gone down. I think he's going to be okay. He went down in a bit of a heap. Just coming together between him and Ronald Araujo. Immediately the Barcelona medical staff comes steaming out, and oh yeah, you can see the effect of it. Kabasi went in to try and win the header, went in with Araujo, and they both headed each other. I mean, Kabasi basically just headed Ronald Araujo. It wasn't going to affect the Uruguayan, but Kabasi has gone down. He's already got himself back up into a prone position, and Barcelona will be able to continue here. 20 minutes to play of this first half. Don't forget, there are still a series of other Champions League ties to come tonight. Bayern Munich against Atalanta. That tie is pretty much wrapped up though. 6-1 in the first leg to Bayern Munich. Should note though, they've are without 3 goalkeepers. Had to call up a 16-year-old tonight to make his Champions League debut, his full professional debut. Liverpool against Galatasaray as well at Anfield. Liverpool finding themselves 1 goal behind against the Turkish side, and Tottenham Hotspur are at home in North London. They welcome Atletico Madrid, who have a 3-goal lead. 5-2, that game ended on aggregate. Here at the Nou Camp, it's Barcelona 2, Newcastle 1 on the night, 3-2 on aggregate. Ball played down the line towards Anthony Elanga. The Swede trying to keep it in play, and this is promising here for Newcastle, throwing in quite a advanced position, you'd have to say. Kieran Trippier coming over to take this one. The Englishman, bit of time here for the former Burnley man. In towards Joel Linton, takes it down quite nicely on his chest. The Brazilian having to play backwards instead to Malik Toy, and Barcelona can engage in their press once again. Burns got a nice bit of time in towards Lewis Hall, takes it on the back of his left foot. Harvey Barnes does take over. Araujo is immediately up against the Englishman. Barnes trying to chip one in behind. Juan Garcia is immediately out of his goal, ready to go and claim. Pumps this ball up in towards the air. That's got to be a foul there for this is one of them. Bernal has gone in on Joel Linton. Joel Linton is looking to try and control the ball. Bernal looks at Joel Linton and then just shoves him. And the referee doesn't get. I see it happen so often. For me, every single time, if another player is looking to try and bring the ball down, the ball's up in towards the air, and the other player has just looked at his opposition and just barged him and just tried to go into him, it has to be a free kick towards the other side. Just another coming together here. Kieran Trippier went to go and take a free kick quickly, and he has been brought down. It was initially a free kick that was given. Trippier, on João Cancelo, and again the Portuguese this time going in on Kieran Trippier. That really should be a yellow card as well for the Portuguese. But again, the referee just having a word with the former Man City man and deeming that not to be a yellow card. I think Francois Letexia didn't see enough of it really to warrant giving a yellow card. But Trippier wanted to get moving quickly. He wanted to pump this ball long towards the left-hand side where Harvey Barnes was trying to make a little run. And Joao Cancelo, despite a free kick initially already being made to a delay play getting resumed quickly, Trippier was back up to his feet. Joao Cancelo decided, well, if we can't do it in open play, we'll just do it when they're taking the set piece as well and take them out. A little bit unorthodox, but it did the job for Barcelona. Ramsdale bumps this ball long. Lamine Yamal getting a little bit too confident there. Hall is able to go and intervene. Barnes now trying to find room for the strike. In towards Alanga again! And there is 2-2! And Newcastle have found themselves behind twice in this game and have found themselves level twice in this game. It was too confident by Lamine Yamal. He tried a little back heel on the edge of his own penalty area. There are time and places, Lamine, and that is not the area. Lewis Hall was there to go and intervene. It's him again, rolling in towards Harvey Barnes. Again, Newcastle, one thought, forward, straight down towards the byline, putting it right across the 6-yard box. Hall thought he was going to be able to tap it away. He couldn't quite get there. Alanga arriving at the far post, converting in towards the empty net. We'll just check as well that everybody was onside in the process. Everyone's miles onside. Juan Garcia's got no chance as well. It's great play by Harvey Barnes. They brought on Araujo to try and stop the former Leicester man, and he can't contain with him. Barnes goes down towards the byline, and he's so direct, he's so clinical. And credit to Anthony Alanga. Right place, right time, 2 times in a row. That's what you want from your winger. Finding yourself in an area just to put the ball in the back of the net. Great play there by Anthony Alanga. Joelinton, oh, there's complaints here that Joelinton has just brought down Fermin Lopez. Not being given, though, in the middle of the park. Driving forward now is Kieran Trippier. Rolling forward, Anthony Alanga. He's on a hat-trick now as the Swede. Alanga's ball in. Gordon's got there. Oh, and he just puts it wide at the near post. What a fantastic counter-attack there. Barcelona are furious, though. It was actually an initial foul on Pedri, sorry. And it came in to Joelinton, who has to be really, really careful. He's on a yellow card at the moment. It's one of them. He's put his arm across Pedri. You have arguments either way. He's trying his best to use his strength against the Spaniard. He knows he's got the strength on him, but the top of his elbow is just kind of caught Pedri on his chin, and he goes down screaming. For me, it's not enough. There is a debate as well that he has a momentum driving forward, the Spaniard, but he's taken a bit of a heavy touch. Joelinton has the drive on him. Pedri is now having a word over here with our referee, Francois Letexia. For me, I think he's got it right. I don't think it was a free kick to begin with. Joelinton, though, has to be careful because I know he keeps on putting in these challenges, but he's on a yellow card. And if Newcastle go down to 10, you've got to feel Barcelona will go all the way and win this game. Pedri now finding a way past Jacob Ramsey. Such a confident dribbler, isn't he? Pedri on the edge of his own penalty area. Joao Cancelo. Newcastle are playing with an ooze of confidence at the moment. Gordon's gone steaming in on Juan Garcia. Here is Araujo now, launching this ball down the line. Dan Burn is there to go and meet it, sending it straight to receiver and rolling in Harvey Barnes in behind just for a moment, having to hold it up just as Araujo's got the right side of him. Back towards Lewis Hall, who's the best player on the pitch at the moment. Hall again moving inside. Joelinton taking over in the middle of the park. The Brazilian moving forward now, back towards Malik Toy, and Barcelona are having to sit in just for a moment. Ramsey, first time ball in towards Kieran Trippier. Loads of space there for the former Atletico Madrid man, who has, of course, won a La Liga title, didn't he? When he was at Atletico Madrid. He's not popular around these parts, and he's having a fabulous game on that right-hand side. As is Lewis Hall out towards the alternate, who is, every single time he gets himself on the ball, he's wanting to go forward, is Lewis Hall. He's matching Lamine Yamal as well. How he was able to read Lamine Yamal and go steaming in. They've clipped one out here towards Lewis Hall once again on this left-hand side. Trying to pump one long to Harvey Barnes. These two who have been on the same wavelength for the first half an hour of the game weren't quite on the same wavelength there. Eddie Howe is ushering his side further up the pitch. They want to try and take this game to Barcelona. Gordon steaming in on Kabasi. Has to go long instead towards Robert Lewandowski as he goes, oh, great play there by Malik Toy. Lewandowski went in on Dan Burn. He felt he was fouled. Toy went in and sweeped up and was able to win possession back as well. Alanga spun in behind. I think he's offside though. Alanga in towards Gordon. Gordon, great save by Juan Garcia. I think the flag is going to go up though over on towards this far right hand side. Kabasi is furious with the assistant over towards that far. I don't know why he doesn't put the flag up, to be honest. It was a ball played in behind by Jacob Ramsey. Alanga was about 2-3 yards off, to be totally honest with you. It wasn't the right decision there by Anthony Alanga to go that early, but I'll tell you what, he's having a fabulous game. So right now, Anthony Alanga, it's taken him a little bit of time to really build his way in towards the game, about 13 minutes. Then after that goal, he's been absolutely fantastic. Dan Burn has gone in once again of Robert Lewandowski, and Barcelona are screaming around the referee that they want him yellow carded. It's probably the second or third time. And Barca, they've got this feel that it's not going how they expected, but to be fair, they've got a real case there. But Dan Burn is absolutely nowhere near the ball. Lewandowski holds up the play, draws the foul, wins the foul, and was going to go darting forward if Dan Burn didn't make the challenge anyway. So there's a couple of claims there, a couple of strong cases as to why that should be a yellow card, but not given by our referee, the man in the middle of the park. What an entertaining game we've had so far. If you're just joining us, you're listening to live audio coverage of Barcelona against Newcastle. 2-2 here at the Nou Camp as Sandro Tonali's one possession back on the middle of the park. In towards Joel Linton, the only man on the yellow card. His pass is misplaced though. In towards Hansi Flick's technical area, and is going to be a Ronald Araujo throw-on to get us back underway. Rafinha opened up the scoring in the opening 5 minutes. Lovely little taken position towards the bottom left corner. Alanga answered back 1-1, and then we came darting forward once again. We'll touch back on the recap of the game so far in just a moment, because Barcelona are moving forward, but there's a good interception though by Anthony Alanga in the middle of the park. Here is Joel Linton. The game is playing at 1,000,000 miles an hour. The standard of football on display. I know it's a Champions League round of 16 and you'd expect it, but still it's absolutely fabulous to really get your teeth into. Here is Lewis Hall once again on this left-hand side, holding up the field plate quite nicely. Lovely back heel by Hall. Alanga, just trying to find Jacob Ramsey towards the edge of the penalty area. Good defending play though by Barcelona, looking to try and form a counter-attack. And there's Fermin Lopez this time. There's a bit of frustration by the Spaniard, putting down Joel Linton. Lewis Hall is playing on cloud 9 at the moment. Little back heel in towards Alanga, and he was trying to find anybody on the edge of the penalty area. It's good defending though by Barcelona. Got enough bodies back to be able to deal with the clearance, deal with the cutback and clear it out. And Fermin Lopez brought down Joel Linton, and for the third time in this contest, Newcastle United do have a free kick in the exact same position. Sandro Tonali has come over to come and take it. 35-40 yards from goal. If he's learned anything from the previous 2 times, get some height on the ball, Sandro, and give Dan Burn and Malik Toy an opportunity to try and head this in towards that far post. Barcelona playing quite a high line held that Ronald Araujo is organising, the skipper for Barcelona now. He came on off the bench for Eric Garcia in around the 20th minute. Rafinha immediately over towards him and giving him the armband. Gone short instead. Hall in towards where Barnes, he can whip one in towards that penalty area. Juan Garcia does really, really well and claims. And Newcastle have quite a few men forward here. They're sprinting back in their numbers of Dan Burn, etc. They're driving forward now on towards this left-hand side. It's a good little interception though by Sandro Tonali, who was able to go and cover because Malik Toy, Dan Burn had gone sprinting up there. And Newcastle sensed the threat in front of them. Barcelona saw a potential counter-attack. It's good play by the home side. And they're back in possession with Ronald Araujo on the halfway line. The Uruguayan happy to take his time. 10 minutes to play of this first half. Still Barcelona 2, Newcastle 2 on the night. 3-3 on aggregate, of course. Just to remind you, no away goals rules, of course. That's long gone now. So if this game is level at full time, we'll head to extra time. And then if we're all level at extra time, we'll have to head to penalties to see who will advance into the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Yamal does go down from a challenge on from Harvey Barnes. Yamal really feeling the effect of that one on the halfway line. It's not in any kind of dangerous position for Newcastle to try and have to deal with, but it was good play there by Lamine Yamal, just holding up the field of play and winning the free kick for his side. Ball played in towards Fermin Lopez, trying to roll through Robert Lewandowski in behind. Burn is there to go and intervene. Ramsey, Alanga taking over now. Anthony Gordon in the middle of the park. in towards Kieran Trippier once again. They're only wanting to go forward here are Newcastle. Chip one down the line towards Anthony Elanga, who's onside. Elanga trying to roll through. Anthony Gordon nearly got there, falling towards Harvey Barnes on the edge of the penalty area. Jacob Ramsey does take over. Here is Joel into 25 yards from goal. All getting a little bit scrappy just for the moment. Trippier in towards Elanga. Forced out wide now is Elanga. Pedri puts a little bit of pressure on him. Elanga using his body quite nicely. Pedri winning possession back though. Really, really well there by Pedri. And Kieran Trippier is out of position. Driving forward now is Rafinha. A lot of space for the Brazilian to go and execute himself into. In towards Ronald Araujo once again. But Barcelona having to take their time, realising there's too many black and white shirts in front of them. And Rafinha's been forced back to Ronald Araujo once again. And Newcastle was set up in their 4-5-1 kind of shape. Got to say, the talent that Barcelona do have on show, it's really, I've got to say, the way that this game is kind of being played is Newcastle playing like such a unison team at the moment, all linking up with each other so well. But Barcelona just have that talent, that real clinical edge, like with Lamine Yamal and Robert Lewandowski and Rafinha, that they just, you know, if you switch off just for a moment, they'll uncarve you and they'll find themselves a goal. They've done that twice already tonight. Newcastle have been able to respond twice as well. Trippier down the line towards Elanga. Elanga all goes down from the challenge on João Cancelo. Immediately Gordon is there. The referee waving it off immediately. Francois Letexia, they're going to check this, the VAR team. That's a Bram Van der Leij and his assistant VAR of Jerome Brissard. Oh, for me, Cancelo, oh, no, I don't think it's enough. Cancelo's got an arm on Elanga, but he's keen. He's keen to go down. Put it this way, you've seen less given. You've seen less given. Elanga's driving forward, and the VAR team will have a look at this. You know, for me, it's not a penalty, but they will be checking it. Ronald Araujo and Kieran Trippier are both around. Elanga has stayed down. He's just getting himself back towards his feet. The referee is just explaining towards Kieran Trippier exactly what the VAR team are looking at here just for the moment. Kieran Trippier again asking. For me, it's not. Referee does clarify it's not. I think the VAR team have got that absolutely spot on. Don't get me wrong, there's arms on Elanga's back ever so slightly, but it's not enough for him to go down, particularly in the way that he did. I think the VAR, this real credit there, only took about 30-40 seconds or so and got to the correct conclusion. Nevertheless, Newcastle do have a throw on deep inside of Barcelona's half. And Dan Burn and Malik Toy are both already up there. Long ball in towards that penalty area. Burn, little flick on, away by Fermin Lopez. Pressure here for Lewis Hall to try and deal with this one. Hall pumping this ball back forward. I think Hall could really feel the pressure there. Didn't really get the proper connection that he wanted on the chip back over the top. He puts it in towards the Barcelona corner flag, out on towards this left hand. So deep inside of their own half as well. Newcastle looking to try and box them in here. Joel Linton and Jacob Ramsey have both stepped on, as has Anthony Elanga, is just coming over to try and help his Mark Bernal. Already got himself on the score sheet tonight as Mark Bernal. He can only help it on its way, where Malik Toy can go and intervene. The German in towards Joel Linton. 1-2 between the two of them. Toy's being forced back just for a moment. Mistake there by Toy. Here is Rafinha, one-on-one against Dan Burn. Rafinha now rolling forward. Robert Lewandowski. Oh, Dan Burn, great interception. Lewandowski again. And Dan Burn with some heroic defending to keep it at 2-2. It's absolutely fantastic there by the English centre-half. They took too long, did Rafinha and Robert Lewandowski. It was Toy's mistake, giving away possession on the halfway line, and it was a 2v1 just for the moment. Rafinha rolled through Robert Lewandowski. If Burn doesn't get that block, we're looking at 3-2, but Burn gets there, gets himself back up, and heads it behind for a corner. Resulting delivery then in towards that far post. Araujo arrives, and it's complaints for a handball, but there is a push in the back that the referee has spotted. Initially on Araujo on Malik Toy towards the far post, and Newcastle can regroup just at this far post. And free kick for Newcastle just to note. Dan Burn, though, heroic piece of defending. If Newcastle do find themselves going through, they'll look back on that basically like a goal, to be totally honest with you, the way that Dan Burn has got that blocking. We've still got 50 minutes of normal time to be played, 5 minutes left of what has been one of the most entertaining first halves of football that we have seen for a while, as Ramsdale pumps this ball on towards Trippier, in towards where Tonali. Elanga tries to get the little flick on. He's also on cloud 9 at the moment, isn't he? Anthony Elanga, 2 fantastic goals. In towards Pedri now. Lovely little bit of turn and space there by the Spaniard. He's a man that can really dictate the tempo. Lamine Yamal on this right-hand side once again, forced back to Ronald Araujo. Yamal, he's keen to try and get forward, but it probably didn't do his confidence any good when he gave the ball away on the edge of his own penalty area. Newcastle went on and scored. Here is João Cancelo now on this left-hand side. Ball back to Martin. Can only roll it back to Juan Garcia. Gordon immediately putting a bit of pressure on him. Tonali is there to go and meet it. The Italian again bringing it down on his chest, but he's taking too long there. Good play by Fermin Lopez, winning possession back in the middle of the park. Jacob Ramsey is there, keen to go and meet him. Driving forward now is Mark Bernal. Sandro Tonali gets in the initial interception. Pedri using his body well to hold up the field of play. Feels he has been fouled there, does Pedri. And the referee had a very good view of it and agrees with the Spaniard. Able to regroup and get play moving here for Barcelona. In towards Kabasi once again. Newcastle have just stepped off about a yard or two, and that's given Lamine Yamal an opportunity to get himself a bit of space on this right-hand side. Eddie Howe hasn't sat down throughout the entirety of this first half. The former Bournemouth coach is right on the edge of his technical area. Lewandowski able to room and turn and get the shot away straight down the throat of Aaron Ramsdale, though. Lewandowski playing with a mask on tonight, the former Bayern Munich and Dortmund man. Created a bit of space for himself about 25 yards from goal. He tried to arc his body to whip one in towards the top right corner. Couldn't quite get the arc that he wanted. Oh, Elanga gives the ball away in a really good position. Tonali is there to go and intervene. João Cancelo didn't know what was around him. They're getting sloppy here on Newcastle. Barcelona can sense it. Fermin Lopez feels he has been fouled. Referee doesn't agree. Trippier, they need to pump this ball long here. Oh, it's composure there from Sandro Tonali. In towards where Harvey Barnes can go and give chase on this left-hand side. Hall is trying to get round his compatriot. Barnes down towards the byline. Hall makes a move inside. In towards Lewis Hall once again. Down towards the byline. Hall chips it in. Juan Garcia is there to go and meet it. Hall has stayed down here on this left-hand side. And there's a huge gap for Barcelona to try and go and drive into. Lamine Yamal forced backwards just for the moment. Newcastle only with a back three. Joelinton has sensed it. He's come over to go and support Lewis Hall, who's made a 60-yard dash to get himself back in his position. Lovely little bit of link-up play there, but they were sloppy just for a moment, were Newcastle. One or two passes which were finding the feet of the Barcelona men. And there is João Cancelo now on this left-hand side. Oh, and he's been able to get past Kieran Trippier. Good chances for Barcelona. Dan Burn is there again. Hall is there once more. Only able to pump it up in the air. Brought down here by Robert Lewandowski, but there is Barnes. And Barnes wants to go driving forward in towards Gordon. Barnes being brought down, and that has to be a yellow card. I think there's two of them actually. Araujo potentially could get a yellow card here as well. Initially, he has pulled it back for Pau Kubarsi. He does pick up the yellow card for the initial foul on Anthony Gordon, but there was two fouls in the same move. Araujo barged Harvey Barnes, and then Kubarsi went steaming in on Anthony Gordon. I think there should be two yellow cards being dished out here. And Francois Letexia, I think he's only going to dish out the one for Pau Kubarsi. Lamine Yamal is starting to get a little bit more frustrated. I think Barcelona will really, really welcome half-time. It's only a minute away. We'll probably have about 3 or 4 minutes of stoppage time as well, because we've had a couple of delays in this contest so far. So just to confirm as well, Pau Kubarsi is the only man to pick up a yellow card there. Ronald Araujo does get off scot-free. Sandro Tonali is just that one knee, ready to get himself back towards his feet. Just to note as well, for any potential substitutes for Newcastle, I think they'll probably need them at some point because of how much they're having to run at the minute. They do have the likes of Johan Visser in terms of a potential option up top. William Asula as well. Tino Livramento, of course, who is coming back from injury. Played at the weekend, didn't he? The former Southampton man. He could potentially come on that right-hand side. As for FC Barcelona, Dani Olmo, of course, a bit more of an attacking midfield threat. And they do have the injection of pace of Marcus Rashford potentially, or Ferran Torres, formerly of Manchester City. 3 minutes to go then of this contest. 3 minutes of stoppage time at the conclusion of what has been an absolutely box office first half of UEFA Champions League football in the round of 16 of this contest. Ramsdale with the resulting free kick then pumps this long. Burn tries to go and reach it back towards where Burn is. He does help it on its way, falling towards Joelinton. Couldn't quite help it in towards the penalty area. Trippier picks up the loose ball back towards Aaron Ramsdale once again. He sets himself to launch it longer towards this left-hand side where Barnes finds himself in a bit of space. Ronald Araujo is there to go and meet it. Yamal, lovely little flip by the Spaniard. Yamal once more skipping past Joelinton, who can't bring him down. Remembers that he's on a yellow card. Yamal in towards Lewandowski. Lewandowski Lewandowski once more. Rafinha with time and space. Rafinha, good effort. Falling towards Yamal. Oh, it's a horrendous miss by Lamine Yamal. He's all of 7 yards out. And he's got the whole goal to aim at. And he's put it over the top of the crossbar in towards them home supporters. Ramsdale made a great double save. It fell towards Lamine Yamal on his weaker right foot. And he was leaning back as he took it. And he puts it over the top of the crossbar. And it really should be Barcelona 3, Newcastle 2. He created the whole chance by himself, skipping past 2 or 3 black and white shirts. Lewandowski held it on his way. It's a good little ball in towards where Rafinha was. Great effort there by the Brazilian. Good save by Aaron Ramsdale. It then resulted in them going through the legs of Robert Lewandowski. Ramsdale came steaming back over and he's injured himself in the process because he's gone flying into Robert Lewandowski trying to get the save. It falls to Lamine Yamal and he just leans back. The 18-year-old leans back as he takes the strike and puts it over the top of the crossbar. And Newcastle breathe a huge sigh of relief. They want to see half-time as well. Joel Linton now trying to hold up the field of play. Burn nearly giving away possession on the halfway line. Hall can only help it on its way. Kabasi back up in towards the air. Joel Linton trying to bring it down. Oh, lovely play there by Joel Linton. Barnes gives it away though. Picked up here by Bernal, Barcelona's second goal scorer of the night. Barnes goes steaming in on Lamine Yamal. Spaniard winning the foul just on the halfway line. Minute to play of this first half. What a first half it has been. I'll give you a full recap in just a moment. Pedri started to get a little bit nasty there because Sandro Tonali wasn't giving the ball back to Barcelona. Pedri had to come over and knock it back to Ronald Araujo. Barcelona looking to try and form one last attack of this first half. Over towards where Martinez, in towards Pau Kabasi once again on the halfway line. Taken over by Pedri, trying to arc a ball further forward. Ronald Araujo does take over. 20 seconds to go now. Uruguayan, not too many options in front of him. Goes short instead to Lamine Yamal. Roll in behind here towards where Fermin Lopez across the face of goal. Real strong case for a penalty here. Trippier's gone in on Rafinha. Throw in initially given. Trippier's waving his arm, complaining. Rafinha's got a strong case. And everyone in the Camp Nou thinks this could potentially be a penalty right at the conclusion of the first half. Oh, if it's a penalty for me. Fermin Lopez has rolled it right across the 6-yard box, and Trippier has gone in on Rafinha and he's pulled the back of his arm. For me, it's stonewall. For me, it has to be a penalty to Barcelona to give them the opportunity to go 3-2 up into half-time. And this potentially could be as well a red card for Kieran Trippier because Rafinha's got the wrong side of him. And it's 2 arms. There's no doubt about it. Rafinha's going to get there. And he's just pulled his right arm back. And for me, it's got to be a penalty. Kieran Trippier immediately complains. The referee's already had a little word in his ear, and he's just going over to go and sell it now. It's going to be a penalty for Barcelona right at the conclusion of the first half. And I think now, for Eddie Howe and Newcastle's concerns, is if whether or not this potentially will be a red card as well for Newcastle's skipper. No doubt about it, it's a penalty for me. I mean, the referee's come over to go and sell it. He's gone to the monitor. He's obviously going to go and give the penalty now. No doubt about that. It's going to be a Barcelona spot kick. It's whether or not Trippier stays on the pitch because it's a denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. If he doesn't put him back, you've got to feel Rafinha gets there and makes it 3-2. Referee, he's dished out a yellow card here for Jason Tyndall, who's actually standing a little bit too close to the referee's monitor. 4th official just over there trying to force Eddie Howe and Jason Tyndall away. 4th official on that near side, Jeremy Pignard. I mean, referee Francois Letexia has come over and had a long look at it. He's made the screen, and now he's going over. It's only a yellow. It's only a yellow, and Ronald Araujo and plenty of these Barcelona players feels it should be a red. No doubt about it. Penalty given for Barcelona. Trippier gets away scot-free. He'll be able to come back out for the second half, and he can consider himself a lucky boy. Nevertheless, Barcelona do have the opportunity to go 3-2 up in the conclusion of this first half. Like, Trippier is complaining as well. He's got a lot of guts to complain because there is absolutely no doubt at all. Rafinha, the second he felt the contact, he went down. Trippier knew he was in trouble, and will be Barcelona to have the opportunity from 12 yards. Trippier feeling that he can really feel the guilt there. You can tell by the expression on his face. Joel Linton needs to be careful here. He's having a word with the referee, and he is also on a yellow card. Newcastle players aren't making their way outside of the penalty area. Ramsdale, who has made a couple of really impressive saves so far in this contest, is going to have to do so again. From 12 yards against Lamine Yamal, who just had that excellent opportunity just moments ago to put Barcelona 3-2 up. He put it over the top of the crossbar. Now he's got the opportunity again. From 12 yards, the 18-year-old to step up and get himself on the score sheet in this tie. He scored a penalty in the reverse leg in the 96th minute. He's got an opportunity here in the 52nd minute. We're 7 minutes into stoppage time. It's Lamine Yamal then, stepping up from 12 yards. Yamal in towards that bottom right corner. Ramsdale goes the right way. No chance of getting there though. Barcelona 3, Newcastle 2, 4-3 up on aggregate. And Barcelona will head into half-time by 1 goal up in what has been a scintillating first half. And Lamine Yamal converting from 12 yards. It was a lovely taken penalty as well as he celebrates towards them Barcelona fans. Steps up from 12 yards with that left foot of his. Little stutter in the run-up. Rolls it in towards the bottom right corner. And it's a lovely taken penalty from Lamine Yamal with back-to-back penalties scored in this tie between them and Newcastle. And Lamine Yamal is really milking this now, are Barcelona. The long celebrations. I think he scored the penalty on a minute 51. We're heading into minute 54 now. A couple of minutes of celebrating. Oh, Ramsdale nearly gets there as well. Actually, probably didn't really do him justice. He gets down. Oh, he gets 2 paws on it as well. Gets 2 hands on the save. And Yamal is a nicely taken penalty. He strikes it well, and the power takes it past Aaron Ramsdale. But just maybe for a moment that Yamal thought that potentially was going to be saved by Aaron Ramsdale. Nevertheless, Yamal gets away with it, and he can dance on the big stage once again, can the Spanish youngster. And that is the last action of the first half as well. What a first half it has been. Let's give you a quick recap before we head in towards the break. Rafinha opened up the scoring on minute 6. It was a lovely ball that was played in towards him. Taking his time, rolled it in towards the bottom left corner to give Barcelona the lead. 9 minutes later, Anthony Elanga got himself on the score sheet. All created by Lewis Hall on this left-hand side. Little interchange between him and Harvey Barnes. Balled it towards Elanga, stretching on the finish. Makes it 1-1. That equaliser was all good for about 3 minutes. Chipped in delivery by Rafinha. Headed across the face of goal and tucked home at close range by the youngster Marc Bernal. Lovely little finish in the end there for the holding midfielder to make it Barcelona 2, Newcastle 1. But then Anthony Elanga got himself back on the score sheet once again, converting from close range thanks to a Barnes cross this time. And that was 2-2. Then, as you just heard moments ago, Kieran Trippier bringing down Rafinha in the penalty area. No doubt about it. It was definitely going to be a spot kick, and just turned home by Lamine Yamal in towards that bottom right corner. And the players have headed in towards the changing rooms, and we can all take a breather. What a fabulous first half that has proved to be between Barcelona and Newcastle. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with you in about 10-15 minutes time or so for the second half of this contest. And if it's anything like the first half, we're going to have some more box office stuff once again. Don't go anywhere. Back with you in about 10 minutes time for this second half of the Champions League round of 16 tie between Barcelona and Newcastle. Half time then, Barcelona 3, Newcastle 2.
Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page.
have started this second half very, very positively. In towards Gerard Martin once again. Pau Cabasi on a yellow card, the only man on a yellow card for FC Barcelona. Back here with Lamine Yamal once more. Taking over is Marc Bernal, and here is Gerard Martin on the halfway line. The Spaniard with a little bit of time and space. Newcastle looking to try and engage in their press now. Araujo in towards Lamine Yamal. Bounce pass between him and Marc Bernal. And again, that's a little trigger there for Newcastle to go driving forward and give it away there by Marc Bernal. Lewis Hall's got pressure behind him from Lamine Yamal, and Lewis Hall has skipped past three of them. Hall trying to chip one in behind to Alanga. It's all getting a little bit messy at the back here for Barcelona. Eventually, Joan Garcia does take over. Picked up here in the middle of the park by João Cancelo. Pau Cabasi can take over, but just for a moment, Hall chipped one in towards where Alanga was trying to make a little bit of a run, and it just turned into a bit of pinball football for a moment. And eventually, Newcastle nearly found their way through, but Barcelona able to regroup. João Garcia, lovely ball there by Garcia in towards João Cancelo. He's so confident with the ball at his feet, isn't he? João Garcia, 24 years of age. You've got to feel he's got to be the starting Spanish goalkeeper at the World Cup. Just a player. It is like having an extra defender at times, just playing out from the back with the way that Barcelona love to play their football, always nostalgically famous for their tiki-taka style of play. Yamal, lovely little flick in towards Pedri. They're darting forward here. Araujo picking up Fermin Lopez. He's got a lot of room to go and drive into, does Fermin Lopez. Tonali's come back in towards Araujo once again. Rafinha's towards the edge of the penalty area. Rafinha now! It's a good effort there by Rafinha. Saved though by Aaron Ramsdale. On towards the edge of the penalty area with Pedri once again. Marc Bernal does take over. There's 10 men behind the ball for Newcastle, just trying to resist this early second half pressure put on by Hansi Flick's side. Yamal once again taking on Harvey Barnes down towards the byline now. Yamal double little step over in towards the penalty area. Yamal hangs it up towards the far post. Rafinha tries to get there, away by Livramento and helped on by Alanga, trying to clear it towards where Gordon is. Picked up though by João Cancelo on this left-hand side, down towards the byline. Lob the space here for Lewandowski in towards that penalty area. Rafinha strike, didn't get the connection that he wanted on it. Ramsdale can gather, but I tell you what, Yamal is really up for it for this second half. The way he went darting in there up against Lewis Hall and Harvey Barnes, they were both on the back foot, the pair of them. Little double step over to work his way in towards the penalty area and just hung it up in towards an area where Rafinha thought he was going to get there, but it was good defending in the end by Tino Livramento. Aaron Ramsdale's got his pass wrong though. He puts this one into touch for a Barcelona throw it over towards his far right-hand side. If you're just joining us, you're listening to second half coverage between Barcelona and Newcastle. The round of 16 in the Champions League. Barcelona 3, Newcastle 2. Lovely little turn in the middle of the park by Pedri. Such a good dribbler of the ball. He's low centre of gravity. So hard to try and nick the ball. I mean, you just can't nick the ball off him, can you? You've just got to wait for somebody else to try and make a mistake. Here is Pau Cabasi trying to play this one in the middle of the park to Marc Bernal. It's a poor pull there though by Marc Bernal. Needs to be careful here to not give away a free kick. Tonali does take over, going driving forward on this left-hand side. Rafinha is giving chase. Tonali back towards where Harvey Barnes is once again. He's trying to drive towards the byline. Hall in towards the penalty area once again. They don't want to go anywhere near Lewis Hall just for the moment. Araujo is just ushering him back, but none of them want to put in a challenge apart from Yamal. He's got the confidence to try and take on Lewis Hall, and it's such an engaging 1v1 battle between these two men. I hope we see these two battle it out more and more. It's a big ask for Newcastle to try and qualify for the Champions League through the conventional Premier League phase. They basically got to win every single game now. You can just write them off for that. Unless they go on and win the whole Champions League, you probably won't see this battle at club level between Lewis Hall and Lamine Yamal again. Oh, it's a lovely ball in behind by Rafinha. Fermin Lopez is here. Fermin Lopez from 18 yards, 15 yards. Goal for Barcelona. And it's 4-2 now. And Newcastle, the mountain they had to climb at the start of the second half, it just got even bigger. It's a simple ball in behind. And Fermin Lopez, it's a lovely take and finish here towards the bottom right corner. And it's Barcelona 4, Newcastle 2. 5-3 on aggregate. And it's a beautiful finish by Fermin Lopez. Just so much composure to steady himself and roll it in towards the bottom right corner. And for Eddie Howe's side, you've got to feel that penalty just before the break. it's knocked the stuffing out of them a little bit. There's a little ball that was played in towards where Rafinha was, and he held it up quite nicely and just played a first side, just with his body shape, rolled in Fermin Lopez. He had so much space and time, takes one touch to go driving forward, steadies his body, rolls it past Aaron Ramsdale, who's got no chance in saving that one. And it's Barcelona 4, Newcastle 2. It's a lovely taking finish, just opening his body out in towards that bottom right corner. Ramsdale came to try and meet him, and he spreaded his body quite well, but he's rolled it in towards the side netting. It's such a precise finish there by Fermin Lopez. And for Barcelona, 4 different goal scorers on the night, 3 of their attacking front 4 all on the score sheet. Joining them is Marc Bernal as well. Really iconic finish there by iconic celebration as well by Fermin Lopez, but he's just stood on the advertising board, puts both of his arms out and celebrates towards them Barcelona fans as the flags are waving and the chants are really being echoed across the Nou Camp. Barcelona on course to reach the quarterfinals of the Champions League, where they'll face either Tottenham Hotspur or Atletico Madrid, and they're in behind once again. Now Sandro Tonali goes steaming in. He feels he has been fouled there, does the Italian, for a challenge coming in from Fermin Lopez. It's not going to be given by our referee, and Fermin Lopez is wanting a bit more of a reaction from their Barcelona fans, waving his arms towards them. It was a good interception initially by Sandro Tonali, and then it was just the initial coming together afterwards. Fermin Lopez trying to get the cross in. Dan Burn was adamant that it should have been his ball. It was never going to be a Newcastle ball. It was good defending in the end by Sandro Tonali. Resulting corner then over towards this right-hand side. Tonali's just gone down. He's holding his left leg. I think he's got a bit of a dead leg here, does the Italian. Just trying to nurse it for the moment. Nick Voltemada is over there getting himself warmed up, as is Jacob Murphy too. Jason Tyndall having a word with Eddie Howe towards his touchline. Jason Tyndall, he is on a yellow card, just to remember. And Newcastle supporters towards the north of this this iconic ground, not really making too much noise just for the moment. As I was touching on just a moment ago, this Lewis Hall, Lamine Yamal battle was a fabulously entertaining battle, isn't it? Of course, Newcastle United, they find themselves at the minute in the Premier League on 42 points. So you'd imagine, depending on how well English sides do, they'd have to get to 49, to the 7 points behind Liverpool, and there's plenty of teams in between them: Everton, Brentford, Chelsea, and then Liverpool. They find themselves 9 points behind Aston Villa as well. So you'd imagine the conventional way of qualifying for the Champions League is as good as gone, and unless they can produce some sort of heroics to come back here to keep their Champions League dream alive for next season, you'd imagine this battle between Lewis Hall and Lamine Yamal is going to have to wait for the World Cup potentially, should England play Spain. It was a lovely little bit of interplay to roll through Fermin Lopez, just to know. Ball played in towards Rafinha, and he's just a first-time ball rolling through Fermin Lopez. What probably doesn't get enough credit here is the weight of pass that is played first time. It's so patient, and it's always so the player can just go striding on towards it. Rafinha just rolled in Fermin Lopez. He didn't have to break his stride, just one touch, steady himself and roll it in. And just to note as well, this is a key moment here for Newcastle. Sandro Tonali is limping off the pitch. Joe Willock has just replaced him. Resulting corner then in towards his penalty area. Man, there at the far post as well. Robert Lewandowski gets himself on the score sheet, and it's Barcelona 5, Newcastle 2, and that surely is game for the Spanish side. They're 3 goals clear on aggregate now. It's ran away from Eddie Howe's side. It's Barcelona 5, Newcastle 2. They all switched off from the corner once again. And it's a lovely taken header there by Robert Lewandowski. He obviously got himself a little bit bored, didn't he? Not getting himself on the score sheet to join the other attackers. Yamal had got himself on the score sheet. Rafinha had got himself on the score sheet. Fermin Lopez just moments ago. And now it's Robert Lewandowski's turn. His 3rd goal in the Champions League this season, arriving at the far post. It was swung in towards the far, and you can't give a world-class striker like him that amount of time. Great little glancing header. No chance for Aaron Ramsdale. It's a complete mixed match at the far post. I don't know what Tino Livramento is doing marking Robert Lewandowski of all men. Great little glancing header. He may have a mask on, but his vision wasn't blinded there, was it? Just put it right where Aaron Ramsdale's just come from. It's a great little header there by Robert Lewandowski. 6-3 on aggregate, 5-2 in normal time. And with 35 minutes to play, it really is fizzling out here for Newcastle United. They need an absolute miracle if they are going to be able to even send this to extra time. Here with Lewandowski once again. Toy tries to send him back. This is picked up here once more by Pau Kabartsi. It's a lovely header as well by Robert Lewandowski. Rafinha now in the middle of the park. Rafinha rolling in, Lewandowski behind. Toy gets the right side of the Polish international. We're over here with Tino Livramento once again. That's how quickly the tie can just sprint away from you. Just going from the last kick of that first half, it's about 12 minutes. They've scored 3 goals, have Barcelona, and it's just ran away from Newcastle for the moment. They've got to try and weather this storm that Barcelona are putting on. Here is Joe Willock now in towards Joel Linton. Harvey Barnes taking over on this left-hand side. Good overlapping run here by Lewis Hall. Hall taking over. Hall in towards the penalty area now. Some great defending there. Really good play by Mark Bernal, who just slid and went to ground and was able to go and get in the little interception. Picked up here once more, though, by Lewis Hall. Nice bit of space and time. Great delivery there by Hall. Cleared away, though, by Ronald Araujo. Picked up here by Robert Lewandowski. Tino Livramento once again with a loose ball into Aaron Ramsdale once again. I tell you what, Mark Bernal probably won't get enough credit for what he's just done there, because it was really, really promising for Newcastle. Little interchange again, like we've seen throughout large periods of tonight between Lewis Hall and Harvey Barnes. Little overlapping run by Lewis Hall, and Barnes rolled him through. Just steadied himself, Hall, and was looking towards Joel Linton on the edge of the 18-yard box. Chips it in towards him, but Mark Bernal just slides towards the ground, lifts his leg up a little bit, puts in the interception. But if he doesn't slide, if he doesn't go to ground, it could go through him. It could. This is the thing. It's gone out of the modern game a little bit. The really trying to slide and win possession that kind of way, and it was real old school there by the youngster Mark Bernal. Real credit towards him. Araujo in towards the feet of Fermin Lopez. And Barcelona are happy to try and keep possession just for a moment. Newcastle looking to try and engage with a little bit of a press. João Cancelo, ball inside towards Pedri. Lovely turn there by Pedri, brought back by Joe Willock, and it is going to be a yellow card there for Willock. Silly yellow card to really give away. Pedri had beat him with the dribble. He doesn't need to commit the foul and pick up the yellow card. He's only been on the pitch for a matter of 3 minutes or so. Pedri with a simple little drag back, and felt the contact, and immediately looked towards the referee and was making the signal for a yellow card. It wasn't a dramatic signal, which potentially could have warranted him a yellow card. Should he? We see it quite often now, don't we? Particularly in UEFA competitions, where if a player just waves their arm up in the air, they could potentially be getting a yellow card themselves. It was just a little wave. Here is Lamine Yamal then on this right-hand side in an advanced position here. Yamal going towards the byline. Hall's won the ball back again. Lewis Hall is having a game to remember. In amongst all the carnage unfolding in front of him, this is the type of game that potentially will really raise the eyebrows of the likes of your Bayern Munich's, etc., because his performance tonight has been absolutely stellar on that left-hand side. He's matching one of the best wingers in the world toe for toe, and just trying to just put off that threat that Yamal is putting on. Yamal can feel it as well. He's gone down the middle now to create himself a little bit of room and space. Yamal rolling through Lewandowski in behind. Lewandowski 6-2. Game, set, match, Barcelona. There's half an hour to play. There's no way back now for Newcastle. Lewandowski, what a finish in the bottom left corner. And the Spanish supporters are going absolutely fantastic at the minute. Hansi Flick, the calmest man on the pitch. The calmest man on the edge of the pitch, I should say. It's a great finish there by Robert Lewandowski. But it all comes from Lamine Yamal. He realises he's getting no success against Lewis Hall. So he just drifts over in towards the centre of the pitch and just eyes up Dan Burn as if to say, I reckon I can take you. And take him he does. Gets himself in towards a nice little area. Rolls through Robert Lewandowski in behind. And there is the Polish skipper. He stutters at the first one and then just takes his time and buries it in the bottom left corner. There's no chance for Ramsdale at all. It's a great run by Robert Lewandowski, peeling off the back of Malik Toy, and it's so composed as well. Just to take his time, steady himself, make sure he gets the angle that he wants. That's a world-class finish by a world-class striker. And Barcelona have ran away from Newcastle. The tie's got away from the Geordies. It's 6-2 on the night. It's 7-3 on aggregate. Newcastle need 4. You've really got to say it's too much for them now. Yeah, I mean, in amongst some of the real key performances, we keep on going on about Lewis Hall. He's had a great game. Anthony Alanga's got a brace. Harvey Barnes has been impressive on that left-hand side, but it's just the sheer talent that Barcelona do possess, particularly in that front line. When you've got a front 4 of Fermin Lopez, Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, and Robert Lewandowski, you know your defence have got to be absolutely stellar. They were stellar up until the penalty. The penalty really just felt like the turning point in this contest, and in just a matter of minutes it's completely turned on its head. We are going to see a triple substitution here actually by Eddie Howe. Sven Botman is going to be coming on, as is Nick Voltemada, and also Jacob Murphy just over there. Joel Linton has committed a foul on this far right hand side, just on Pau Kabasi, I think that is. Just have to give confirmation though. It's fifth out was on Robert Lewandowski. Lewandowski just holding up the field of play. Joel Linton goes in on him. Two former Bundesliga men just coming together. Oh, it's a nasty challenge there by Joel Linton, right down the foot of Robert Lewandowski. I wouldn't be surprised if Joel Linton is one of the players that Eddie Howe deems he needs to vacate the field of play. Sure enough, he is. Joel Linton's day is over. Sven Botman will be coming on. Anthony Alanga won't be getting his hat trick. He's coming off that right hand side. Jacob Murphy will be coming on to replace him. So just have to see what kind of shape that Newcastle are going towards. Potentially a back 3 actually. Botman, Malik Toy and Dan Burn on that left hand side. And I'd imagine that means Tino Livramento and Lewis Hall will play basically as wing backs. Coming in towards the middle will be Joe Willock and Jacob Ramsey, I do believe, to play that central midfield role. So they've gone in towards a 5-4-1 defensively, but that will mean Livramento and Lewis Hall will have a bit more room to go and operate in further forward. Here is Livramento then on this right hand side. Two players that are keen to go forward, aren't they? Tino Livramento and Lewis Hall. I think that's a fairly smart strategy there by Eddie Howe. Knows his side need a lot of goals, don't they? So try and commit as many men forward as possible at this point. Barcelona are going to respond with a triple change of their own. Ferran Torres, Dani Olmo are both stripped and ready. And just seeing down there towards that near side, I believe Xavi Espar Font as well. I'll have to give you confirmation of that substitution when we do see it. Here is Pedri then on the halfway line, rolling it in towards Pau Kabasi. Rolo the Araujo then on this far right hand side. 25 minutes to go of this contest. Such an entertaining game it really has been. Pedri once again, yeah, can give you confirmation as well. Xavi Espar Font will be coming on, defensive minded player. I imagine it would possibly be for João Cancelo potentially. Have to give confirmation of that one when we do see the substitution. Hansi Flick may have a little eye on upcoming fixtures. Of course, Atletico Madrid is in a couple games, still got to play Rayo Vallecano, of course, before then, but Atletico Madrid will be coming up for Barcelona as they look to try and clinch the La Liga title. 4 points clear of Real Madrid at the moment. Back here with Joan Garcia then, over towards Gerard Martin. The Spaniard looking to try and clip this ball down the middle of the park. Burn has gone down. Not going to be given by a referee. I think he's just slipped there. Fermin Lopez trying to put one in towards Lamine Yamal. Malik Toy stands his ground, wins possession back. Here is Livramento trying to play this one down the line. João Cancelo is there to go and get the interception. And we are going to see this triple substitution. So João Cancelo, as expected, is one of them substitutes being replaced. Font does come on this left-hand side. Good performance there from the Portuguese, it would have to be said. Lewandowski's day is over, as is Fermin Lopez, two of the goal scorers for Barcelona tonight. Lewandowski won't be getting his hat-trick, getting himself brace. Fermin Lopez also getting himself on the score sheet in the second half. Ferran Torres will be coming on to replace Robert Lewandowski and take up that striker role. Dani Olmo going in towards the attacking midfield position, the former RB Leipzig man. So this is the talent that Hansi Flick does possess. Dani Olmo coming on for the remaining 24 minutes, and we know what kind of talisman he can prove to be sometimes, particularly in that attacking midfield role. Know the creativity he possesses, as is Ferran Torres as well. So just a slight little change in shape here as well for Barcelona. Font I think has gone over towards that right hand side. Martin has just come over to play left back just for the moment. We'll have to see how that change of shape does influence things. 23 minutes to go of this contest. Barcelona 6, Newcastle 2, 7-3 on aggregate. And Barcelona do have a free kick in a relatively dangerous position here. Dani Olmo is just standing over this one. Rafinha is also potentially an option to whip one in on that left foot of his. The Spaniard of Dani Olmo, I think it will favour the former Leipzig man, just fresh off the bench. Rafinha does put one up though. Rafinha will take this one in towards that far post. Araujo nearly gets there, trickling all the way out, and will be a Newcastle throw on over on this far left-hand side. Newcastle were alert for that one, but there's just been that's really what has upset things in this tie as well for Newcastle. Just switching off in key moments. Lewandowski's header, that was a key moment, and also from the initial set piece they conceded when Marc Benal converted from close range. Just small moments, small margins, and that really has proved to be the undoing of Eddie Howe's side throughout this contest. Here is Ronald Araujo once again, who's now playing in centre half. Fonts has come over towards this right hand side. Kabasi's playing left centre back, and Martin is in left back. So Araujo has been playing right back for periods of this contest. He is now playing his conventional centre half role. Back with the Uruguayan once again. Plays it in towards Pedri, looking to try and turn the Spaniard back in towards the middle of the park here with Marc Benal. Lamine Yamal makes a little run inside. Harvey Barnes is trying to track where Lamine Yamal has gone. And he's making quite a few half-decent runs here as the 18-year-old. Spinning in behind, getting himself in some small pockets of space. Not being picked out though. Barcelona don't need to rush for injured, I have to say. And there's commentators Kerr striking right there. Pedri tries to launch one through to Dani Olmo, and Aaron Ramsdale was easily able to go and intervene. It's one of them for Newcastle. They've had some really positive moments. I'm surprised they haven't got the likes of Voltemada on potentially at this point. Give a little bit more height, because at the minute they can't get out. They need an outball at the minute. Here is Rafinha once again, 30 yards from goal. He rolls it back to Ronald Araujo, because Anthony Gordon has basically run his feet into the ground. He's not really bursting a sprint at the moment. Here is Pedri. Oh, it's a lovely little ball in behind once again towards Ferran Torres. Helped on its way by Dani Olmo. Ferran Torres got the shot away. Good little block. Here is Lamine Yamal once again on this right-hand side. Such composure here from Lamine Yamal. Oh, lovely ball in towards Fonts. Fonts ball in towards that far post, trying to pick up Ferran Torres. Picked up here on this far left-hand side by Gerard Martin. He's to be forced back just for the moment to Marc Benal. Rafinha in towards Pau Kabasi, and it's all Barcelona traffic just for the moment. Newcastle are having to really sit in. Here is Dani Olmo looking to try and turn. Ramsey is there to go and intervene. Livramento does take over. Rafinha brings him down. Free kick for Newcastle just on the edge of their own penalty area. Livramento feeling the effect of that challenge on his back. Doesn't want to be getting himself injured anytime soon. He's just come back from injury, of course. Playing his first game back at the weekend, when Newcastle were victors against his former side Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. 1-0 in that contest. 20 minutes to play them of this outing. Still to note as well to come in the Champions League later on. Bayern Munich against Atalanta in Germany. Liverpool against Galatasaray Merseyside. And Tottenham Hotspur against Atletico Madrid in North London. Long ball played forward here by Aaron Ramsdale. Dani Olmo picks up the loose ball. Olmo trying to launch one in behind for Rafinha, who's trying to give chase. Ramsdale's done well though, going to go and meet it. Launching it long to where Harvey Barnes tries to bring this one down. Araujo is there. Olmo, oh, lovely turn here by Dani Olmo. They're entering a different kind of level now at Barcelona. Rafinha trying to drive one in towards the penalty area. Rafinha now down towards the byline. Rafinha's ball goes in. Byrne is there to go and meet it. Byrne trying to hook it away on towards his right-hand side. So good ball there by Dan Byrne. Jacob Murphy does take over. Picked up here by Harvey Barnes. Barnes, pressure behind him. Goes in front of him instead towards Tino Livramento. No options towards his right-hand side. Livramento being forced backwards just for the moment. Malik Toy does take over. In towards Aaron Ramsdale. Inside of his own 6-yard box now. Ramsdale chips one over the top. It's a poor ball there by Aaron Ramsdale. Dan Byrne had no chance at all in bringing that one down. And Barcelona can regroup with a throw over on this far right-hand side. It's remarkable as well how quickly the clock has ticked down. It's just for the moment. It felt like it's all unravelled in about 5-10 minutes, and then you look at the clock and we've nearly played half an hour of this second half. That's just the domination, the control that Barcelona have really had in this contest. It's one of them where time just seems to go so much quicker. Here is Willock now, switching out towards Lewis Hall. Brings it down quite nicely. He's got Byrne behind him. Uses him. Byrne looking for an option just in front of him. Oh, it's a poor ball though inside the middle of the park. Rafinha! 7-2. And Barcelona have completely run away with it now. Now Rafinha getting himself on the score sheet once again tonight. This time on his weaker right foot. In towards the bottom right corner. It's 8-3 now on aggregate. Jacob Ramsey was just trying to switch a play. He played it straight towards the Brazilian. Rafinha needed no second invitation. Took it down nicely and rolled it in towards that bottom right corner. And Ramsey, who's trying to keep a calm head, has got all of the noise around the Camp Nou. And Rafinha celebrates towards them home supporters. There's Barcelona 7, Newcastle 2. It's remarkable that it was only 3-2 at half-time. It was nearly 2-2 at half-time. With the way the rest of this contest has gone, Barcelona have just entered a second gear. They're so clinical as well. You make a mistake with the pass, Rafinha brings it down, takes a couple of steps, steadies himself, little look up, and rolls it in towards the bottom right corner. Ramsdale's got no time to even set himself, and it's how clinical he is as well, just to finish from that close range. And it's a real special moment there from Rafinha, pouncing on the mistake from Jacob Ramsey. He won't want to see that one again. Rafinha, one of 3 players now to get himself 2 goals on the night. He's the only player now with an opportunity to score a hat-trick though, after Anthony Elanga and Robert Lewandowski both vacated the field of play. So Barcelona 7, Newcastle 2, 8-3 on aggregate now. Played in towards the middle of the park with Marc Bernal, looking to try and switch out towards his left-hand side with Gerard Martin. Pressure on him by Tino Livramento. Ball down the line as Sven Botman tries to put a bit of pressure on Ferran Torres. Here is Yamal looking to try and turn. Good deception though by Malik Toy, as Yamal feels he has been fouled by Willock in the process. Here is Ramsey once again. Olmo goes steaming over. Lewis Hall on this left-hand side. Rafinha puts a little bit of pressure here on Lewis Hall, and they're having a little coming together there are Hall and Rafinha. Rafinha just trying to match Lewis Hall toe for toe. Here is Jacob Ramsey once again. Dan Byrne inside of his own half. Former Brighton man in towards Lewis Hall. Little chip pass to Harvey Barnes. Pressure from behind him on Ronald Araujo. And the linesman giving the decision against the former Leicester man. Feels it definitely should be a Newcastle throw over towards this right-hand side. He's laughing to the decision from the linesman. I think he's got a case there, Harvey Barnes. I think it should have been a Newcastle ball. Nevertheless, Barcelona will continue. 15 minutes to go of this contest then. Barcelona 7, Newcastle 2, 8-3 on aggregate. Played on towards this left-hand side with Gerard Martin, trying to roll one in behind here as Botman goes steaming in. Yamal, lovely little touch back towards Martin. Newcastle with some half-decent defensive work there, but the flag is up towards this far side. Will be a Newcastle free kick to get play back resumed. So they've already made 4 substitutions. Has Eddie Howe's side. Of course, Lewis Hall just coming over to potentially take this free kick. Actually, in terms of other options they've gone there, you'd only look towards Nick Voltemada at this point. Maybe Johan Visser, but I'd go with Voltemada. Maybe William Asula as well. The substitutions have made sense really by Eddie Howe. He's tried to go to a back 3 and find some sort of response, but it's been a muted response. The new camp have really drowned out Newcastle tonight, and they've shown their absolute quality. There's the reason they're the top of the Spanish league, top of La Liga. Of course, they're on the same side of the draw as Arsenal. That was already confirmed, wasn't it, yesterday, that Arsenal will face Sporting Lisbon after Sporting came from behind against Bodo Glimt 3-0. They lost in Norway, came back in Portugal 5-0 after extra time win, and they'll face Arsenal, who got the job done against Bayer Leverkusen yesterday. And Barcelona also on this side of the draw. Unless something dramatic happens, we'll be advancing into the quarter-finals where they'll face either Tottenham Hotspur or Atletico Madrid. Very familiar opponents of Atletico Madrid, of course. They're facing them in just a couple of games' time after they face Rayo Vallecano. On the other side of the draw, it'll be Paris Saint-Germain against either Galatasaray or Liverpool. PSG getting the job done against Chelsea, winning 5-2 at home, and then a really, really convincing performance yesterday. Goals from the likes of Kevin Shelia and Barcalona getting himself the 3-0 win at Stamford Bridge, 8-2 on aggregate. They'll face over Liverpool, Galatasaray, who is still to play later. Galatasaray currently 1 goal to the good in that contest. And also on that side of the draw is Real Madrid, who found their way past Manchester City yesterday, 2-1 away win. They're already 3-0 up, courtesy of Federico Valverde's hat-trick at the Bernabeu. What a hat-trick it was. The third goal especially was absolutely sensational, and you'd imagine they'll face Bayern Munich, who are currently 6-1 up against Atalanta at the halfway point of that leg. We're in the penalty area now with Dani Olmo, but the flag has gone up. It was a little ball played in behind towards Ferran Torres, but to no avail for Barcelona, as real players just kind of slowed down just for the moment. Ferran Torres did strain towards an offside position. Sven Botman just played the former Man City man off. So Barcelona, of course, on that side of the draw, where they'll face either Atletico or Tottenham Hotspur, and like most people's predictions, is still on course to be an Arsenal-Barcelona semi-final. Of course, Sporting Lisbon and either Atletico Madrid or Tottenham Hotspur will look to try and upset that. But you'd have to say so far, maybe minus Bodo Glimt, who a lot of people did think they would get through to the quarter-finals. There hasn't been any upsets at all, really. It's been all smooth sailing like it has been for Barcelona in this second half. We're in possession now with Pedri on the halfway line. Ronald Araujo does take over. Newcastle with all 11 men behind the ball. Barcelona quite happy to keep possession. Here once again with Pedri. Ferran Torres looking to try and spin behind on where Sven Botman is. Kabasi does take over. Gerard Martin once again. Pedri, so good in possession is Pedri. Such a composed player, isn't he? Ronald Araujo once more on the halfway line. Here is Pedri, the Spaniard, taking the ball on his back foot in towards Rafinha. Pressure behind him from Jacob Murphy. Kabasi once more in towards the feet of Gerard Martin. Rafinha just on the halfway line now is the Brazilian. Rolling it in towards Mark Bernal, who can help it on its way. Yamal wants the ball to feet. Not going to be getting it though. Bernal happy to switch it back out towards Pedri. And this is a good 30, 40 fast move. Pedri now in towards Lamine Yamal. Yamal now, nearly scores it towards that bottom left corner. Got himself into a really good area, but Ramsdale was able to be equal towards it. Newcastle looking to try and form a counter-attack. Gordon, he's got so many Barcelona shirts around him, but he's picked out Harvey Barnes. Barnes in a good area against Font now. Barnes' effort, Barnes' strike. Straight down the throat of Juan Garcia in goals. Good goalkeeping there by both goalkeepers actually up the other end of the pitch. Aaron Ramsdale. Yamal just spun himself in behind and towards an area. Ramsdale was able to get a palm on towards it. It was a great run there by Lamine Yamal, but he just needed to open his body out a little bit more to guide it in towards the bottom right corner. Aaron Ramsdale stood his ground well and was able to flap one away there. We are going to see another substitution here for Newcastle United. I believe that's William Asula, who has got himself stripped and ready to come on for the remaining 10 minutes plus stoppage time of this contest. And we are going to have some stoppage time actually. Juan Garcia has just gone down. They could be forced in towards a goalkeeper substitution here. Could Barcelona. They do have the experience of Wojciech Szczesny at their expense, and they'll be able to use him as well. They've only made 4 substitutions so far tonight. Wojciech Szczesny already getting himself stripped and ready to come on. It was from that initial save actually for Juan Garcia. He went down and then immediately felt the effect on his left knee, and you could just see literally see it immediately with basically when he was just reading his lips. He just went wow, 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 wow. You could tell immediately he knew he knows he's done something there, Juan Garcia, and they are going to be forced in towards the substitution. He's feeling the back of his left calf here. Is the Spaniard. This is bad timing as well, particularly when you consider I mean, it doesn't look that serious, so you don't want to bring the World Cup into question. But I was just saying about how, for me, he's got to be Spain's #1, hasn't he? Going into this World Cup, and he doesn't want to be getting any kind of needless injuries. He's already back towards his feet. I think he's limping off ever so slightly. The back of his left calf is the real problem for him. Newcastle have already made their change in the interval. Anthony Gordon's day is over. William Asula will be coming on for the remaining 10 minutes or so to go of this contest. And Barcelona will make their 5th final substitution as well. It's a forced change. Juan Garcia's day is over. Good performance, you'd have to say, from Juan Garcia in net. And Wojciech Szczesny will be coming on. So the former Arsenal and Juventus man, coming on for the remaining 10 minutes of this contest. Wojciech Szczesny is on. Joan Garcia having a little word with Fermin Lopez as well as to exactly what damage he has caused. Wojciech Szczesny already on towards the field of play, and immediately coming over as a couple of key Barcelona supporters with a banner out with Wojciech Szczesny's face on it. Maybe potentially looking for a pair of gloves at the conclusion of this contest. 8 minutes to go then of this game. Barcelona 7, Newcastle 2. 8-3 on aggregate. Barcelona just moments away from advancing into the Champions League quarter final. Switch a plough towards Ronald Araujo once again. Back to Wojciech Szczesny. Szczesny now looking to try and switch it out towards his left-hand side. Pau Kabartsi in towards Gerard Martin, having to play this ball down the middle of the park, which I don't think he would have liked to do. Taking over is Marc Bernal, and Newcastle nearly able to get the interception in. Eventually, Barcelona have to put it into touch. That Newcastle pressure was a little bit too relentless for them. And Newcastle with a half-decent opportunity to potentially launch one in towards the penalty area or go short with the throw. And Joan Garcia has just made his way on towards the dugout, and he's having a word with all of his teammates about what exactly he's done. Eric Garcia is over there as well. He was substituted inside 20 minutes of this game. Livramento's long throw in towards that penalty area is easily headed away. Tries to be picked up here by Rafinha. There is Livramento putting in the immediate interception. Willock picks up the loose ball. Needs to be careful here, does Willock. Already on a yellow card. Willock has got in quite hard on Pedri. Already back towards his feet is the young Spaniard and can resume play. As Newcastle back here with Sven Botman, who we have barely seen, to be totally honest with you, since he's come onto the field of play. Hall, who has been the best player on the pitch for Newcastle tonight by an absolute country mile. Skips past where Leon Kami challenges, comes in from Font, and he goes in again. This time on Harvey Barnes on this left-hand side. It's an opportunity to potentially swing one in towards the penalty area. They'll go short instead, will Newcastle. Here is Lewis Hall once again. Back to Dan Burn. He's got Botman towards his right-hand side. Uses the Dutchman. Ramsdale does take over, and Malik Toy here once more. The German with a nice bit of time and space. Livramento back towards Aaron Ramsdale. The pressure from Barcelona has just dipped off ever so slightly. They know they don't have to go all guns blazing into Newcastle, who would love a goal in the second half. Toy in towards Livramento. Poor touch there by Livramento. Dani Olmo now in towards Lamine Yamal. Over to go and put a little bit of pressure on him is Lewis Hall. Again, this little battle between the two of them has been one of the best parts of the evening so far between Lamine Yamal and Lewis Hall. Love to see them two in their press conference, their post-match press conference afterwards with what they say between one another. I bet there's a lot of respect between these two players, knowing that they are two of the best in their sole position. Here is Gerard Martin then on this left-hand side. Pedri does take over. He's got Lamine Yamal towards his right. Opts out of that pass initially. Short instead to Ronald Araujo. Picked up here by Xavi Espart-Font. The youngster once again in towards Lamine Yamal. Marc Bernal and a bounce pass towards Yamal once again. 35 yards from goal. Lamine Yamal as the Mexican wave has come out at the new camp, as these supporters are loving what they're seeing at the minute. Here is Pedri trying to switch on towards his right-hand side with Xavi Espart-Font in towards Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal's effort. Good save, though, by Aaron Ramsdale. Took a couple of tries there for the former Arsenal man. Just had to pluck out the sky, and then eventually he does gather. 5 minutes to play then of this contest. I imagine there'll be 4 or 5 minutes of stoppage time. I can't imagine the officials will give too much more. Here is Dan Burn to let it run for Lewis Hall. So just to remind you what else is to come in the Champions League. Bayern Munich against Atalanta, Liverpool against Galatasaray, and Tottenham Hotspur against Atletico Madrid. Jonas Erberg is fit as well for Bayern Munich. So as much as they've had to call up a 16-year-old for their side, Jonas Erberg will be available for the Germans. And we're back here with Ronald Araujo once again in towards Gerard Martin does take over. Rafinha trying to spin his way in behind. There is Dan Burn. Good interception there by Dan Burn. He's had a relatively positive game, you've got to say, Dan Burn. One really key block in there, which you felt was you felt just at the time it could potentially be a turning point for Newcastle, but how the second half has panned out, it's completely ran away from them. That was all in the first half where there was key blocks. Jamal missed a really key chance, but the penalty really feels like it's just completely altered the game. And they put Newcastle on the back foot, having to go for it in the second half, and the Ties just totally ran away from them. Szczesny now inside of his own penalty area, out to Paul Kabatsi. Danny Olmo does take over, looking to try and turn and run at Malik Twoy. It's a good interception though by Jacob Murphy. Here goes William Osula once more with Jacob Ramsey. Harvey Barnes once more. Lewis Hall goes sprinting through the middle. Ramsey does take over. Osula trying to move out wide on towards this left-hand side. He's got not too much support, to be totally honest with you, and it's a good interception by Javier Font towards the approval of them home supporters. Will result in a long throw in towards that penalty area. Dan Byrne has just strolled his way in, as has Sven Botman and Malik Twoy. It's going to be the long throw in from Lewis Hall then in towards that penalty area. A little different kind of style of techniques between these two sides. Hall, his long ball in towards that near post as Byrne tries to go and get there. As Ramsey gets the shot away, Rauho gets the block in and he goes down as well as the Uruguayan from the block. I think it just caught him in the stomach, and he's just going to need a moment to get the wind back in towards his lungs. He caught it well there, did Jacob Ramsey. Just set himself quite nicely and tried to drill it in towards that bottom left corner. Always not even the wind in his lungs. I thought it hit the side of his chest, but he's just actually hit the head of Ronald Araujo. So the Uruguayan needs to stop spinning just for the moment from the power that was generated on that strike that he blocked with his head. Minute and a half to play then of normal time. Then Barcelona supporters are making a whole lot of noise now. They know their side will be heading to the Champions League quarterfinals. And what has been a few patchy years for Barcelona, the good times have certainly returned, but corner whipped in towards Barnes' header. And that one is just the wrong side of the post. A good little ball in towards that near post. Barnes tried to get the little glancing header, but behind instead for a Barcelona goal kick. Them home supporters have been absolutely relentless all night, all cheering, all waving in their team. I have to say the temperature's dropped a little bit as well, but it hasn't stopped any of them putting their jumpers on. They've all been enjoying the proceedings tonight. Here is Barnes now on this left-hand side. Jerry Esper just trying to force him away. Picked up here by Ramsey. Back towards Willock once more. Willock, opportunity to roll through Lewis Hall and behind. Does roll through Lewis Hall. Lewis Hall strike. Blocked this save though by Wojciech Szczesny. There's complaints for a potential offside. Not going to be given though by our official. It was a good ball in behind towards Lewis Hall, who had to take it first time on his weaker right foot. Szczesny now launching this one out of play, and Ronald Araujo is the next one to go down. I think he's still feeling the effects from where that ball smacked him right in the square in the side of the head. The Uruguayan just taking his time to get back on with proceedings. There'll be eyes towards the fourth official as well towards this far side, Jeremy Pignard, as to how much stoppage time we'll have at the conclusion of this Champions League quarter-final between Barcelona and Newcastle, where it is 7-2 at this current stage, 8-3 on aggregate. So eyes towards the fourth official for how much stoppage time. The referee has just blown up. Well, that's a little bit of surprise there, to be totally honest with you, that the referee Francois Letexier and our fourth official Jeremy Pignard feeling that there would be absolutely no stoppage time, given we did have 5 goals, but nevertheless, 4 goals, sorry. Let's quickly run you through then with how that tie did unfold. Rafinha opened up the scoring. Feels like an absolutely eternity ago, doesn't it? Rolled it in towards the bottom left corner. Lovely finish on his left foot to give Barcelona the lead. Elanga answered back about 9 minutes later, getting on the end of a Lewis Hall cross. Good little finish there by the Swede, but it only lasted 3 minutes, did that equaliser. But now was able to convert home, making it 2-1. Then 10 minutes later, Elanga again. Lovely little finish from a ball in from Harvey Barnes, and it was 2-2, and that's where we thought we were heading at half-time. But Kieran Trippier was the culprit, putting down Rafinha at the far post. So the ball was put in towards that penalty area. Definite penalty. Trippier yellow carded. Yamal converts from close range. Then Newcastle really did feel like they were chasing the game. Then 3 goals in 10 minutes just took it away from them. Courtesy of Fermin Lopez and Robert Lewandowski at the double. which made it 6-2, and Rafinha got in on the act. Jacob Ramsey gave the ball away, and he was able to convert home with some real precision. Lovely little touch on his left foot and rolled it in with his right foot. Man of the match, have to say today then, has to go to Lamine Yamal once again. He's just such a prolific player, isn't he? Lamine Yamal or Rafinha, you could argue either or. Real credit to Lewis Hall tonight. I certainly think he'll be given his flowers with how well he played in that contest. Nevertheless, Barcelona do head through to the Champions League quarter-finals, winning 7-2 on the night and 8-3 on aggregate. That scoreline sends a message. They're very much in this contest, and they're letting either Tottenham or Atletico Madrid know who they'll be facing in the next round, that they are here to play. Then Newcastle supporters, credit to them, just touching on this. They are really giving their players who have just made their way over to go and applaud their fans, and really just giving them the ovation that they do deserve, reaching this stage of the competition. Nevertheless, the likes of Barcelona, Arsenal, Sporting Lisbon, and either Tottenham Hotspur or Atletico Madrid, you certainly know that Barcelona are a real force to try and deal with. That scoreline sends a message. Do hope you have enjoyed coverage of this one. Full time then here at the Nou Camp between Barcelona and Newcastle. It ends 7-2 on aggregate 8-3. Barcelona into the quarterfinals of the Champions League.